Everyone's like, hey, the cybersecurity field is booming, and why exactly should people be really aware of these things?
For example, if you have received a notification from Instagram, try to log into that and look for that particular notification over there. Don't just go and click on each and every link that you come across.
And the worst part, it really doesn't stop on clicking these mails.
Right.
It was very fishy because these guys, they actually called me up. They even had my order number. And they even told me to, you have to just place the order on the original website itself, and later you have to go to a website which is actually where you can claim your gift voucher. So what I'm guessing in the scenario, the second website that they really were talking about where I could avail the price, example iPhone 15, was actually a phishing website. Welcome back to another episode of Fox Talks, and today we are going to have a podcast on staying safe online, a cybersecurity guide. So this one's going to be generic. This is basically questions that come from normal people about cybersecurity and the ways they should actually secure it. So before we move to the podcast, let me introduce to what exactly we do at Red Fox. At Red Fox Security, we provide end-to-end client penetration tests. These are in fields like Active Directory, network pen test, and web applications, hardware, and a lot of other fields as well. So do check it out on our website, that is https://redfoxsec.com. Apart from this, we also have a lot of educational content that is constantly be pumped up on our YouTube channel, as well as there are blogs which have helped a lot of students as well as some fellow pen testers in their engagement as well. So you can check it out on our website as well as our YouTube channel. Apart from this, there are some premium courses that are also offered on our website. So everything is available on related to trainings and all of these courses. It's on academy.redfoxset.com. Moving on to my introduction, I am Tarak Sakardande. I work as a security consultant at Red Fox Security, and with me I have Joseph Simon. He is going to so Joseph, can you introduce yourself to the audience as well as give them a brief about what this podcast is really going to be about?
So hi everyone, myself Joseph. I work as an associate security consultant at Red Fox Security. In today's podcast, what we'll be discussing is how cybersecurity really impacts the overall crowd, that is the common people. We will be discussing a few tips and tricks that normal people can include in their day-to-day lives to make them more secure. We'll be discussing about the company aspect as well, how they can secure themselves, and also the individuals as well. So an overall approach to cybersecurity to make the world a better place and secure.
Exactly. So it's like I would really like to ask you a question before we actually move to the podcast, because everyone's like, hey, the cybersecurity field is booming, and why exactly should people be really aware of these things?
So when we are talking about cybersecurity with respect to the security aspect, like it impacts each and every person, not only the individuals, the companies, everyone who is using the digital devices that in their day-to-day lives, right? So even if you are talking about their personal device, that is a mobile phone, it contains a lot of information when we are talking about a particular individual. So and they might not be aware of the things that we are aware of, like the security risk, the frauds that typically happen, what are their impacts and how they can impact in a larger scale in their life. So we will discuss about these things in detail in the further video as well. So so that's it. Just to give you guys a perspective, this video is for you guys to just give you a perspective on the security implications that you might come across in your life. We will be sharing our own examples as well that we have come across in our day-to-day lives, that the frauds or the scams that we have come across. So that's it.
That's great. So starting off with the first question we have is, what is the most significant cyber security threat that people really face today?
Okay. So when we are talking about the most amount of threats that not only corporates but the people also come across as an individual, that is mostly the phishing scams. Okay. So what typically happens is the attacker or the adversary is able to create a particular page. Okay, and they are able to make creative ways to let the victim give their own passwords or credentials or some sort of data for to the attacker.
Okay.
Okay. So I did have an experience myself, not myself but my friend. So what happened was there was this particular post, not a post. It was on an Instagram ad. Okay. So what it implied was that if you just log in to this particular website, we will give you a free skin and you have to check some boxes as well. Okay. While they are applying for that thing. So what this ad was like, when you click on the ad, it will redirect you to a particular page and you have to log in with your Instagram credentials. So what happened was my friend's Instagram account got completely hacked because that was not an Instagram page. That was not valid login Instagram page. It was a phishing scam that they implemented that looks like an Instagram page, but it was not. So what they feed on the greed or some sort of insecurities that people have. Okay? So what they typically do is they create something that is eye catchy and they provide it with that. So no one will think, right, if common people is surfing the internet.
There are people of age of different age groups again. So
they might not understand the technicalities of the thing as well. It might be possible that they just misclick that particular ad. But the attackers are creating a creative way to make them trust you. Make you trust them. So what they are able to do, so his Instagram got hacked by that. So they that was one of the scenarios that I came across, and we were able to retrieve that particular account by doing other things. But it is always advised not to click on the links that other people provide. So if you do want to confirm or validate a particular thing that you might receive through email or through your SMS or so any sort of source, what you have to do is log into that particular website, the main website. For example, if you have received a notification from Instagram, try to log into that and look for that particular notification over there. Don't just go and click on each and every link that you come across. And sometimes your trust, sometimes the trust that you have on people or the particular entity might also be misused against you. So I think you do have an incident about that, right?
Exactly.
So can you share that?
Sure. So what happened is that I was using an e-commerce website again, and I really ordered a pair of football shoes. Again. So what happened is that after some amount of time, I get a message from the e-commerce website, and trust me guys, it was really a verified badge on WhatsApp, and these guys said, hey, you have won a jackpot. I think your nth number of order and you are selected to win the following things. So there was the sneaky iPhone 15 Pro Max as well at the time, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But again, now I'm a security consultant. I know what the mentality is that we really follow. And so I was like, that's something fishy. So let me just call up the customer care. And what I did was, again, you guys can do it as well. Just call up the customer care. And then these guys told me that you were really not selected for any lucky draw or something. And the worst part, it really doesn't stop on clicking these mails. It was very fishy because these guys, they actually called me up. They even had my order number, and they even told me to, you have to just place the order on the original website itself, and later you have to go to a website which is actually where you can claim your gift voucher. So what I'm guessing in the scenario, the second website that they really were talking about where I could avail the price, example iPhone 15, was actually a phishing website. So even if Tarak did not give the order number, it was compromised somehow, right? So don't think that you are completely secure if you haven't done anything. Just be with the mentality of always being cautious about what you are putting out there on the internet. And that's it. We will discuss each and every again, the best thing is about this podcast is we are really not only going to cover only the technicalities or what you you should follow or what are the good practices. But again, we want to emphasize more on the mentality part as well, because it's more of the awareness again.
Completely agree with that.
Yes, moving on to our next question. How do cyber attacks typically start, and why are individuals often the first target?
So when you talk about security from a security perspective or an attacker's perspective, so it is really easy for a user who does not understand anything about cybersecurity or like that makes them more vulnerable. For example, we do understand, we as young people do understand about the technical stuff, right? We do know how to operate the phone, how to navigate that. But when we are talking about an elder person, who are 40 to 50 years of age, they do not understand the concept of the technology that we are currently using. So if they particularly target that particular segment, they might get more number of things, right? Like that it might be the probability of exploiting them is completely high when we are talking about this particular aspect. So that's the case when we are talking about the individuals compared to the corporate or the companies that because the companies or the corporates typically implement some sort of security mechanisms, or like they provide awareness to their employees and all. So when we are talking about individuals, they do not understand the concept of like why should we implement strong passwords, what is the role of MFA, what does these particular things typically do, the technology that we are using right now. So it is completely new to them, and we cannot blame them as well. What we can do is we can just educate them or try and limit the attack vectors that typically happens to us. So it's just the most vulnerable segment when we are talking about security, and they do not take it seriously for the personal folks.
Exactly. But that to summarize what he actually said as well. So what you said again. So it's like a lot of big companies or companies in general, they have all of the system generated things or the best security practices in their environment already implemented by engineers or anyone like that, or security consultant and us as well. So the problem what happens is that there are employees who are working in the company, but there is not enough cybersecurity awareness. Maybe there is not created. So what happens is that if you click on that link, you might feel as if it's coming from your boss, but it's not actually coming from your boss. It's from someone else. But what these attackers do is let's say my name is Tarak @example.com. What they will do is they will add a letter at the end, like tarakl@example.com, and you were in a hurry always. You are working in your day-to-day life, and you're like, okay, hey, my boss has told me something to do on this link, I might as well do it.
So
that is
the
how
link
it goes.
is not it is not the link that is the problem, but it is really easy to exploit. Okay, so if your details are compromised on already, that is just your email ID. Okay, so what they can do is they can attach an attachment also, which might be malicious, so that they get connect back or some sort of execution, malicious execution on your device. What they can do is we can create a link as well. So the attack vector is completely open to you, and you might not expect it as well. You might think that this particular thing does not impact me. Why does this thing? But until and unless something really bad happens to you, because even a single picture in the day and age right now, AI can create a lot of things that you might think it is not possible. It might not be even you that has done that particular deed or something, but so it will really impact you in a way that you wouldn't think, right? So because each and everything relies digitally in today's world. Each and every person has their own digital accounts, social media accounts. Each and everything is their own small phone, right? Not only the transaction details, their bank details, and everything. So just be more careful and cautious about these things, so that we can create a better future and secure future. Right?
Also, it's really easy to create clones of the front end part of the website. There are really extensions out there.
There is nothing they should do. They just have to copy the HTML and paste it over there. That's it. Then you get the front end HTML part, apart from the things that they are calling the dependency files and all that, like the images and all. So they can really recreate that really easily, is what I'm trying to say. When we are talking about the
front end part of the application.
web application.
All right, that was really a good one. I think we covered a lot of information in this question itself.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. That is, why do hackers target small businesses or individuals instead of large corporations?
Okay, so just like I said, it is more easier to attack a particular small corporation when it is compared to a larger corporation. Because larger corporations typically have security mechanisms in place.
Yeah.
Okay. Like EDR, XDR, they might have cloud-based solutions,
Yes,
or
WAFs, firewalls.
yeah, everything. So in place, because they have to comply to a certain degree of regulations, right? So when you are talking about small businesses or like individual businesses, for example, in today's day and age, each and more people are getting into digital business, right? So they are creating their own drop shipping business, something like that. So they create their web page and they start their business. Give 5 to 10,000 to a particular individual, they will create a web page, or they can create them themselves. That is more secure. But yeah, when we are talking about creating this particular web applications, or if we are talking about the corporate level things as well, if we get a gig, okay, and we are testing a web application, we find critical bugs in that as well. In the most secure things
exactly,
as well.
and these all are large companies.
Yeah, so we can just imagine how vulnerable these web applications that might be, right? These web applications. So when we are talking about these kinds of businesses, they do not care about the security. What they care about is their business, right? So they just make a web page, deploy it on the internet, and they do their business. They do not understand what might that happen. I have a story. I did a freelance gig, okay, when 1 or 2 years back. So what happened was, it was my friend's friend. I think he or she dropped the business, and they tried to they were trying to look for some things, they were not receiving payments for the things that so that was a problem. That was an e-commerce website, some bakery related stuff. Okay, so what happened was, I was able to bypass that each and everything. So somewhere about 39 vulnerabilities I was able to find in 5 days.
Okay.
5 days, and I was not completely engaged in that particular activity. I was only giving about 3 to 4 hours. And the vulnerability consisted of lot of things, and mostly it was high vulnerabilities. You can say I was able to bypass the payment gate wall. I was able to find IDORs, account takeover vulnerability. These were the things that I was able to compromise, because the individuals that create this particular web applications are not aware about the security practices as well. Even the industry grade developers might not know these particular things, right? The security part of the development.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it is really important for not only the big corporates, but to the smaller businesses as well, to secure their things.
Yeah. Again, there's a small example that even I had in my personal life again. So what happened is that one of my friends, he knew that I was working in the cybersecurity space. He's a web application developer. So he called me up and he said, hey, for some reason I can see that there are items being purchased on the website I built, and he was really scared because there was no payment for it. So it was just going away without the user actually signing in. And then I was like, okay, again, we are pen testers, our schedule. So I was like, okay, fine, I will spare some time because this is something really critical.
Right.
And then I just went, and turns out that the price could be tampered in the request itself.
Right.
So this is more of a business logic vulnerability. Again, if you want to check out the technical aspects of all of what these vulnerabilities are, there are videos related to it on our YouTube channel as well as we have a course based on. So that comes for more of the pen testing. Again, continuing to the story. So that was one of those issues. And secondly, there was a response manipulation where you could actually buy stuff without actually signing into the application.
Understood.
So he completely passed it. He was like, thanks. And we had a good laugh at the end. And then, yes.
So that's what we talk about, right? Like the people don't understand the security.
Yeah. And again, I think the main problem with the developers, not everyone, but some developers,
Yeah.
they have this mentality of building the web application again.
Right.
So they build the web application with the mentality of, hey, I want to make this project ready. But
Yeah.
they don't actually inculcate the secure practices that are really needed in order to defend the web application from attacks.
I agree. I completely agree because there is not much information from a developer's perspective. Because when we are talking about developing an application, what they typically search is how do we do this particular thing as soon as possible, right? And they look for the resources for that only. They do not look for how do we secure this particular web applications or how can we securely build a particular web application. And when we are talking about freelancers, okay, so they do not when we are talking about freelancers, they do not understand
The impact
of this can have on that particular business. Yeah, so that's it. So if we don't compromise on the price. If you can give a better secure your web application a bit more, do pay a bit higher and do look into people who really know their stuff. And
that is exactly what we do at Redfox. So if you want a pen test to be done and you really want it to be with amazing quality and excellence, then make sure that you actually get the pen test done from us personally again. So
yes, I completely agree.
And yes, we are going to make sure, again, the best part, what we do here is we also make sure that whatever reports that you are making, it's in accordance and provides more visibility and depth to the non-technical people as well. Because again, not everyone is into cybersecurity, and even these normal people understand exactly as to what's going on. So that was an amazing answer again from you, and we had a lot of storytelling as well. So let's move on to the next question, that is, what are simple steps everyone should take to protect their online presence? You know, a lot of folks are out there and they are like, okay, fine, but how do I secure it? So what's the best top answer for it?
So there is a lot of aspects when we talk about their social media presence or some digital presence, right? So overall, what I will suggest is if you are talking about a particular application that you have signed into, do always put strong passwords that are more complexity and of length. Don't reuse the passwords again and again. So for this, a single solution is to implement the password manager. So this will create and store. You do not have to memorize something. Okay, the each and every password for each and every the application that you sign into. So what this will completely erase the human aspect that makes it more vulnerable. Because when we are trying to set a particular password, we try to relate what we can remember, or we can what can we easily remember or recalculate when we are trying to log into this particular application, right? So sometimes what we may do is, sometimes not, I think almost each and every person does this at some point in their life, because I did that. So what I did was, I typically use my name or something that is related to me. That can be some examples of other things that might be used are the birth dates or the characters they may or their own dogs or pets that they have. So these are really publicly accessible to any people, right? Any of the attackers or the adversaries when we talk about them. Because if we just go to their own social media page, if that is public or private, if it is a public, then they know each and everything, where you have been in the last week, what are the stories, where do you went, what are your friend circle looking like, what do you do, each and everything they understand. If they only follow you for just a week, okay, they get all of your insights of what your day looks like. Because nowadays what people are doing is they're completely oversharing their own private life, right? They do not think about what are the implications that might have. I recently read a case study as well. So I do not remember the exact details, but what happened was, this was some popular celebrity, I think. So what happened was, he was shot down or assassinated, I think. So how did they get the information? That is, he was along with some girl, and she posted the same the location that he was at, or
exactly. I know about this story.
Yeah. So in the same time frame when they were at that particular location, right?
Yes.
So that the attackers or the adversary was able to pin down the correct location and they were able to assassinate that.
Yeah.
So you might not understand who all are after you or what the things that you post online, what are the implications of that. So what I will suggest is, please be careful what you put out there. Do understand that what you put on internet will forever stay in most cases on the internet itself. Once you put it out on the internet, you will not have the control or the access to it. For example, if you just post a photo, you might think if I delete the photo, it will go, right? So a simple example is, if someone screenshots that, what happens? So that's the security, the concern, that's the attitude that you should have. Once you post that, it is not yours. You do not have control over that particular thing.
Obviously, again, that's great. And again, if you're talking about passwords, there's a good practice that you can implement. You can use special characters as well, and make sure that it's 14 characters password, not really simple. And again, the best way is, see, even if you implement this, the part is that there are attackers again, or penetration testers who do it for the companies. There's a method called brute forcing, where there is actually there are a list of passwords that are commonly used by people in the world, and that's really freely available on GitHub. You can check it out as well. And what we do is we actually spray all of these passwords against these usernames. So even if you set up a password that is not that strong, I am still able to guess it. Now, the next thing that I'm going to suggest you guys is, even though your password gets compromised, a good secure practice is actually to implement a multi-factor authentication. So even if your password is compromised, the attacker's in, but again, he needs to get that code, which is going to be personally sent on your phone again.
So that was really a good point. Also, do update your softwares regularly on a regular basis.
Exactly.
That's it for the social media presence aspect. Don't forget that each and everything that you put out there is not in your control once you put it out there. Do secure your passwords and all. And even if you have a strong password, MFA, each and everything, if your company that you have registered to, or if that is compromised as well, so your password will be leaked, right? So do regularly change your passwords on a particular time frame. It might be 6 months, 3 months, whatever you like. So please do that. It is a security best practice, and do implement MFA as well. All right, let's move on to our next question. Why is it essential to protect personal devices even if you are not tech savvy? Okay. So personal devices contains a lot of information about you. If you talk about your photos, your private moments, anything, it is out there. Your bank details. You're talking about a lot of personal life and private moments. Are you fine? No, I am completely fine, because people, I just want them to know that. I'm so sorry to disturb you. No. That's fine. I was just talking about that you might not even remember what the thing that you currently have on your phone. Each and everything that you have on your phone can be compromised very easily if the attackers know what the methodology that they typically use to exploit a particular person or their device. So it is really important for a personal for example, I will give you a example. Okay, it happened with me. So what happened was, I do not know the exact thing what really happened, but I was receiving about so what happened was, it was a Saturday. Okay, I was on my leave and I was just chilling at my home. So I just received a doorbell ring, and I just went over there, and there was this delivery guy, and he had sent from my a particular parcel from my local medical store that was near to me. Okay, and that had the address of my address and my name, my number, everything, and they did not order anything. So I was just trying to communicate with this guy, and I told them that it is not supposed to be. I did not order anything from this particular thing. So what happened was, I received on the same day 6 parcels which was not ordered by me. I completely understand this was something that done by some people that completely knows me, or they
Yeah.
were like really adversary stuff, like they might have hacked into that particular
Yeah.
store, and they might have the details of that particular the user base of that particular thing. So whenever you try to so that are the security implications. They can do a lot of stuff with your details. They can, so for example, I did not order, and they said specifically that it was a call from your number itself.
Yeah.
So they know my number, they know my address, they know my name, they know my everything, the local medical that I complete the each and every day go to, like
Yeah.
whenever I need stuff, I go over there. So they know the person that you are currently. So that might be possible that it might be my mistake, or from my end, this particular thing,
Yep.
incident happened. But I think most probably that they might have been leaked. So these are the implications that you might not think that this might be much, but when you are in your own safe space, that is your home, you might not want to be disturbed each and every now and then again, right?
Yeah.
So till now I received some of the parcel that I have not ever ordered, but yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So yeah, do be careful of what you put out there. That is why I completely mentioned that you might not know or understand what you are trying to do. You might not like understand that you have already been compromised.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be more cautious. So if I am talking about myself, I am completely insane guy. I do each and everything with about 10 to 10x casual sort of thinking. So I do a particular thing, before that I implement each and everything, like check each and every secure mechanism is possible, and then only I will try to do that. So if I am if I understand this particular technical stuff, and if I am being compromised in this way, so what do you can think? So what sort of information that you have put on the internet, and what can happen with your data as well, right?
Yes. I'm pretty sure by this time you are going to change your local medical store soon. So again, there's one really good point that came in my mind. I don't know. Is that it's like the question goes like, even if you are not a tech savvy, but there are a lot of people who like games, they like movies and all of this stuff. So what a lot of people do, again, cracking is illegal. But there are people who are doing it, so I'm just creating a security awareness. When you cracked all of these games or these movies, you are actually inviting a lot of viruses and malware into your computers.
Right. So for the people who do not understand what a cracked software is, it is nothing but if you are using a Netflix, right? So you have to pay a subscription for that. So if you are able to bypass that, or you have created a modified application for a particular thing, for which you can access for free, okay, on the internet, these particular shows. So that is what crack software is. It provides a free or some sort of utility for you in a free way. Okay. So this might come with a additional cost that you might not understand, that it can compromise you as well. So please do not use crack software if possible, but I know that you guys are going to be using it. Please use in a secure way. I would completely deny the possibility of you using it. But for you users, if you are using it, please use in a secure way. Do implement antiviruses and all. Yeah. Be ready to like you might be compromised already, but be sure to that your personal details. Be ready to secure yourself as well, is what I'm trying to say.
There's one scary thing that really happened with me back in time. I think I was in probably 10 or 11 years old. And I was with summer vacation again, good old days. And I was with my friend, and I think something was really going on with this computer. And you know what? The most weirdest part was, I still can't believe it. The hacker had got so much into his system that he printed an anime girl, something like that, on his printer. And it really came out. And we both were like, dude, What's really going on? Your computer is gone,
So
literally.
yeah, they might have access to your devices as
Yes.
well. For example, if you, this is a typical case that might impact anyone. Okay, so if you do have a laptop, okay, and if you're so this particular camera on the laptop can be controlled by these attackers if your device is compromised. What they can do is they can record each and everything that you're currently doing. So if you have your laptop open and if you do not have that particular lock on your camera, they can control the camera and they can turn it on at any point of time without you knowing it.
Yeah.
So if you are in a compromised way, like if you are at your home, right, you might not think that this is something that will happen to you. So whatever you do in your private spaces as well might be compromised without you knowing it. Okay.
Yeah.
And it might be used against you as well.
Yeah. All right. That was another a long conversation again.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
How do you know? And this is again for a lot of generic people because a lot
Yeah.
of people nowadays use public Wi-Fi. So it
Yeah.
goes like, how do you know if a public Wi-Fi network is safe to use?
I wouldn't advise anyone to connect to a public Wi-Fi because it is really accessible to public, so for free as well. Okay,
Yes.
so if you do have access to that, then the attackers there is a possibility for the attackers to have access to that as well. So what this will do is whatever communication happens between. So what typically happens was. Is if you are connected to a Wi-Fi, so whatever communications you have through to a particular through the internet will be going through that particular Wi-Fi, right? So
Yeah.
if I am an attacker, if I am able to create a rogue access point, so whatever access, communication that you are having with the internet,
Yeah.
that might be like you are making a bank transaction in your public in a public place connected with a public Wi-Fi. So what he might be able to do is he might be able to access that particular details if if it is vulnerable or misconfigured in a way,
Yes.
or he can do that. So just be sure that you completely trust. I wouldn't advise it to access a public Wi-Fi in
Yeah.
any case. But if you are doing it, please make sure 100% that it is completely a trustworthy access point. But even if it is of similar names giving, so there is, I think there is this one attack, Dioth. I do not remember the exact name, but
Yeah.
so what it typically does is if you have a Wi-Fi, okay, and your Wi-Fi's name is Wi-Fi 1. What it does is it DDoSes your Wi-Fi, and what it does is it completely makes it go down, and it makes the same thing with the same access point with its own rogue router it acts as a rogue router. So what happens is whenever you are trying to make a communication, right?
Yeah.
So you have already been disconnected from your
Yes.
device, right? So when this particular access point is up,
Yeah.
so your device tries to access this particular device with the authentication token of the Wi-Fi, right? So even if you do not have that particular password, okay, even if you are in a safe space, that is your home, and if it is your Wi-Fi router, they can be hacked by using this particular methodology. So be sure to make sure to update your firmware and each and everything on a regular basis. Be updated with the technology.
Yes.
And do not connect with the public Wi-Fi.
Exactly. And there's one more technical aspect that I would really like to discuss again. So a lot of Wi-Fi network, even nowadays, they are actually using WPA2.
Yeah.
That is that is something that is older. I think we have moved to WPA3 now.
Yeah.
And now the main difference is WPA2s are very much sensitive, and you can actually compromise it. Again, it's very easy with the help of a dongle, and then again you can use Kali, and a lot of stuff and a lot of tools again come with it. If you want to understand and actually see of a live Wi-Fi hacking video again this is solely for educational purposes. You can request it if you want in the comment section. I will deliver it as well, or
Sure.
one of my teammates will definitely for you guys. So let us know. So how easy it is actually to get the Wi-Fi down or access it. So moving on to the next question, what are the top cybersecurity mistakes employees often make at work? I think we have discussed a lot about it, but still let's just give it a
just to summarize,
Yeah.
right? So what the employees do not understand is they might be so the each and everything about the security is about first thing is the awareness that they should have. Okay, so they should not go and click on many of the links, or they do not have to download attachments from a particular suspicious person. Okay, so what they can do more is like do the passwords, like their passwords, make it complex, implement a complex and a longer length password, do implement MFA in each and everything. Yeah, that's it. When we are talking about employees, what they can improve in that particular security mechanism. when it
Also,
comes
they
to
can
corporate.
recheck the emails so that it's really coming from the intended person.
Yeah, that is also there, but yeah, completely agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I would really urge a lot of corporates to provide security awareness trainings and again educate their employees about actually implementing secure practices. This is what something that even we do at Redfox. So if you are really up for a corporate training, you can contact us as well.
Yeah. So yeah, talking about the corporate training and all, that is one thing. Yeah. So if you do not know about the cybersecurity environment right now, so that might be the case that you can implement this thing. But what I would suggest is you should have some sort of training from the very beginning of your life. So if it becomes a habit for you to be cautious, right?
Yeah.
So for the particular scam that you look for, because they feed on some sort of things, right? They feed on your greed, insecurities, or some other other thing. When they are trying to compromise you. Yeah. So yeah, you can provide people with the what we can say, the understanding and awareness at a early age. Okay, so we do have schools and all starting like making the students know about the computers as well. They are currently learning computer applications and all. So trying to build applications also they are learning. So I would like to just suggest that please do implement cybersecurity awareness training as well, because even nowadays I can see that even younger people like 6 to 7 years of people, I'm not saying just to go and spread awareness among 6 and 7 years old, but what I would suggest is try to implement basic stuff. If you do know about these things, just try to make everyone aware about the things that is currently happening, not only to the younger people, also to the elderly as well. So that we can completely secure our environment or the how to have a secure world, right?
Exactly, and that is exactly what we do at Redfox Security again, because we are creating the awareness and making sure that everyone is securing. Again, there are categories. Literally, the content is really divided into categories where it's for normal people to get the understanding of the awareness and the secure practices, and again, it is for the technical people who are actually intermediate or good people, good pen testers. Again, moving on to the next question. How should small businesses approach cybersecurity without breaking the bank?
Okay. So yeah, I think cybersecurity, the things that we typically do when we comes to small businesses or like pen tests and all, we do have different solutions for each and every person, right? If you do not have like a lot of money to invest into red teaming assessments and all, what you can do is you can do an internal pen test. So we do have different solutions for each and every person that might want their environment to be secure, right? It might be your web applications, your internal environment, the environment that you completely build, your infrastructure, the devices that you're currently making as a product. So we can do that. Just be sure. So make it a priority. Okay. So make a priority list of what you think that you needs to be done, and first start implementing from start to the end. You do not have to implement each and everything as a whole at a single point of time. What you can do is you can
enable firewalls.
That is the basic stuff that they can typically do. I was just giving them a overall idea of what they can do.
Exactly.
If you do not have that much to invest in security.
Yes.
So what would you like to add something like the basic stuff that they can do?
Obviously sure. So what it's like, you can implement firewalls. Again, you can have antivirus software installed on each and every employee's computers again, and again make sure that your softwares and all all of these systems are updated on a regular basis.
Yeah, so if you have a small company, right, you will have a smaller attack surface of the people when we are talking about the people, because they are the most vulnerable, because your devices can be updated to the latest technology, right? But people are the when we are talking about people, they are the most vulnerable or the easiest to exploit when it comes to this particular things, and it is really easy to exploit them. Just send 1,000 mails to jot down the 1,000 mails and just send the mail to this particular users, and if they click, then they get a jackpot, and they have already compromised your systems. So yeah, that's it when we are talking about the cybersecurity for the smaller companies.
All right, so let's just move on to our next question. That is, what does the future of cybersecurity look like in an increasing digital world?
Okay. So yeah, when we are talking about what I would like to suggest is not only implement out in the corporate level, but also inculcate that in your daily activities as well. So as I said, once you make it an habit to be cautious and implement the security mechanism that you have in place, so it becomes an habit, right? You do not have to think and again to implement that. So I would like to suggest that. To the question, your question again, how do we when we are talking about in the future, we know that AI has been advanced, right? So I do think AI will be implemented into our security mechanisms as well. And yeah, so currently AI is not to the level, but I think in future it will be.
Yeah, exactly. And I would really like to tell them why exactly AI is not up to the mark for now in cybersecurity, is because there are new and new attack vectors coming again and again. So again, you have to manipulate. There are certain things as a pen tester, you really know what to manipulate, when to do it. Again, they can integrate it in the future, but I think as of now,
it is just too early.
Yeah, as of now, yes, exactly. Yeah. It's really not that big.
I have seen some of the softwares being used, AI is being used in the software. They are currently trying to implement it. So it's still in the research phase, right? So it happens all the time. First, in the research phase, they try to implement, they get a breakthrough. And yeah, that's how technology moves on. So yeah, that's it for the technology in the future of cybersecurity.
All right. Moving on to the next question. How can technical people learn more about staying safe online?
Don't forget to follow Red Fox on our YouTube channel.
That's the one-stop solution there, really, because we are pumping content on YouTube. There are blogs, and there are a lot of things that are available.
Yeah. So when you are talking about technical people, are you talking about the professionals that want to get into cybersecurity, or the people?
Actually, I'm talking about the generic people, the non-technical people.
The non-technical people. So yeah, that's one thing that you can follow Red Fox. We will be sharing a lot of content on this non-technical aspect as well, because it is really essential for each and every individual to know what cybersecurity is really all about. That it is also there for them as well, not only to the corporates. Do try to when you try to actively learn about a particular thing, right? So it is my motto in my life that I try to learn each and everything. I do not stop. I try to learn new things each and every day, or when you compare. So that's it. So try to learn new stuff about new technologies. Do understand them. What might be the security implications on you. Just try, when you just don't go and implement a particular technology to yourself. For example, if you are using an Instagram, if you really want to use an Instagram, or try to only give access to your life, or to the personal people. So to the non-technical people, try to only give access to the technology to only the restricted parts of your life that you follow, is what I would like to say. So that you should always be worried about the security implications on you, right? So you might not know that what the new technology is trying to do. For example, if you just type, if you do have an account in ChatGPT, and if it was an exercise that we did last week, I think. So what it did was, we just tried we told ChatGPT to tell me something about myself in context with each and everything that we have already talked about. And it almost represents what we actually are. Okay, so you should understand that these things, that the data that you put out there is being used to
know more about you.
yeah, when you are talking about a particular e-commerce website, Amazon knows what you want, right? The next thing, what is the next thing that you need? Because if you order a particular phone, then there might be charger, the speaker, whatever, the digital devices. And if you look for a shirt, it will give you a recommendation for a pant as well. So that's it. So they completely understand what your thinking process is. Your each and everything is calculated by others. You should be really terrified about that, because it is not in today's day and age, it is not really easy to be safe and to be really protective with your own data, right? Because each and every one has their own terms and conditions, which the companies what we can say, terms and conditions, so that they can retrieve your data as well. When we are talking about the companies,
talking about contracts and stuff.
Yeah, no, not about the contracts, but when we are trying to access a particular web application, and a particular application, they typically sends terms and conditions, right? So read that, do understand what you are getting into. So your data is being trained to use or against you only. So that's it. So be secure. That's
Again, I would really like to add a tip for the normal people. Again, what you can do is actually follow our government security guidelines that are outlined. Again,
that is really good point.
Yes. Again, then you can actually go for blogs and blogs, and there are a lot of YouTube videos again that are available. What I would really suggest is, again, if you are a non-pen tester, you are not from a cybersecurity background, you can still come to our website and you can follow our blogs as well. Again, if you are a person who wants to get a job in cybersecurity, or you are a pen tester who wants to upskill in certain field, you can always come at https://stratfoxic.com and there are a lot of content that has been provided. So you will get a good amount of overview about as to what all things are really happening in the space.
I think we have already covered a lot of things on our YouTube itself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We do have each and every type of content. We talk about cloud, IoT, web applications.
Any field that you could name off.
When we are talking about offensive security, obviously. Yes. So if you do want to learn about these skill sets, you can just follow us on our YouTube channel and our socials, so that you get a regular update of what we are currently putting out there, right? Yeah.
Don't worry about it if you are not following along. All of these things will be provided in the description. So you can just pop the description up and then you can check all of these things. So moving on to the last question of the day, that is, are schools and universities doing enough to teach cybersecurity to students? What do you think? Like you obviously you were in school back in time. Now you are in the cybersecurity space. You are working as a security consultant. So what's the difference? What do you think?
Just like I said, it should be inculcated when you are young. So when you do that when you are young, so it will be easier for you to have that particular mentality. Not only that mentality, but also the understanding and the knowledge that they will be doing in their years, right? So when they are an adult, from the day they are into schools, and if we are trying to make them learn about the security implications and how do they navigate technology in a secure way when they are young. So there is a lot of time. It will be almost about 10 to 12 years of trying to learn and understand these particular things, right? So that plays a huge role, I think. So I think what they should implement is really at least a small aspect of what they will be going through. For example, they might have an Instagram account when they are young, right? So try to teach young people how they can that they are signing up for what they are signing up for, and make them understand. I will also advise the parents also to learn about these things and to understand what this technology is used for, and do understand and what we can say, use it in a secure way.
Yes.
Always provide with additional knowledge when it comes to technology. Do you yourself should be understanding about these implications.
Yes.
When you are obviously using digital devices and all.
And again, I think there are a lot of things there are a lot of secure practices again. So if you are wondering about actually getting a training done, you can always consult us and you can mail us. that you
Sure,
need a
sure.
training at your school, university,
Right.
or even corporate trainings as well. So I think that's a wrap up. I think we gave, I'm pretty sure that we answered a lot of questions, and it was amazing podcast,
Right.
and I really had a fun time with you, Joseph.
Thank
It was really great with being with you. And again, there is a big news that's really coming on the
Yeah.
house, and that's that we are actually selected for Black Hat Security Conference, and again we are going to deliver a training that is chip of forensics. This is available on the Black Hat website as well, and it's also available on our website, so do check it out. And I think it's okay, the dates will be there as well.
Yeah.
So without any further ado, I think if before I close this podcast, let me know about what your views are, and if we were able to answer all of these questions again. See, secure practices and what you should follow. All of these things can't be really covered in a span of 40 or 50 minutes.
Yeah.
But again, I think Joseph and me, we did our best in order to educate you again.
Yeah.
And before, again, if you like our podcast, this is a new podcast setup that has been really set up. So we have a lot of things. Let me just grab one of our Batmans, because I am really a big Dark Knight fan. And what you can do is you can actually rate our podcast again and let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
So we are again always putting a lot of content out on YouTube. Also, we have blogs, so do make sure that you are checking that out. And again, if you like this podcast, like it, comment it, share it, and make sure that you subscribe. Any closing remarks from your side, Joseph?
Yeah, if you have any doubts, do mention it in the comments as well. And if you are like, if you want to learn, it is just a Google click away, right? You can just ask the Google or the ChatGPT whatever problems you are currently facing. And if you really have any really technical queries and all, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn as well. And Tariq.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it was really fun being with you guys. We'll see you on to a next one again with the Fox Talks. So see you guys and goodbye. Have a nice day and be secure.
Bye guys.